So man, you got some pretty good offers. I mean, between Syracuse and Arizona, those are both really good offers. Did you end up wrestling in college? Is it ultimately or?
No, that's what I'm saying, man. And I will say that if I do have an opportunity to maybe make some kind of like speech or something to coaches, fathers, parents, man, or just athletes, themselves, like, man, if you have opportunities, man, take them, make the most of them. I'm not saying that I have any kind of regret, because I'm actually, in a place now, that I feel, I've gotten to and still was able to experience, a lifestyle that I had somewhat dreamed of. But how things go, things change.
Sure. Yeah. Well, man, it's interesting though, because your story, it goes in a really cool direction, that maybe had you been in college, it might not have taken you. You ended up discovering catch wrestling, which is a whole nother branch of the wrestling tree. How did that come together? When did you first discover catch?
So that's part of the story. So like, man, I was really involved, and like I say, to parents, coaches, that kind of thing. As much as I kind of was like anti-establishment, that kind of thing, was kind of like maybe like the Dennis Rodman of wrestling type of kind of behavior, my coach used to call me a prima donna. Does that make sense? So you're a prima donna, but I was fortunate. I will say, my first wrestling coach was the great Joe Corso. I was lucky enough, and I will use the word lucky. Again, as much as, I was trying to fight against the system, I still went along with it. My father when I was younger, my father put me on a train, sent me to Pennsylvania. I spent a few summers up at in my day, it was Russ Houck's wrestling camp. It was the Olympic training center for the Olympic team for a few years. Now I think it's Gene Mills is Pin to Win. It's been going for like over like maybe 42, 45 years, something like that. But I was fortunate, bro. How can I explain this? Like, I'm a product of exposure. When I was growing up, it was 80s. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have Instagram. There wasn't even really VHS to a certain point, did I just date myself? Holy crap. Yipes. But yes. Yeah. So, in order to acquire knowledge, you had to have exposure. You would go and see what, what Johnny was pinning everybody with on Tuesday nights. You would go to the other team's matches, write everything down, try to, take notes, as well, good coaches, tough guys, older dudes, in the room. That's where you would gain knowledge, besides experience, trial and error, that kind of thing. But John Donahars has a cool saying. They run that commercial where he's like, oh, if you meet somebody, or if somebody comes into your life for like a short time, they can have a huge effect. And bro, 100%, it's true. It's surprising, but I am that 100%, to where I was working. I would spend my summers up in Pennsylvania, up at the wrestling camp. I was a kitchen boy there. I'd have to clean off everybody's dishes as though they were done eating, and I have to go and take out the trash and do all that stuff, bro. Clean the mats, everything. Make the fields for the soccer teams that were coming through, all that stuff. But while I was there, I had access to bro, I did 2 hours of takedowns with Bobby Weaver. Gene Mills used to beat the shit out of me, man, almost every day. And I sat and ate lunch with the Peterson brothers. I talked to those guys. It was a different kind of experience, because I had an opportunity to talk to them, to kind of, understand their mindset or their approaches to their techniques. The Petersons, the Peterson role. Gene was relentless. Just kind of different like the so like I'll be honest with you. So I'm talking to Bobby Weaver, and everybody's cheering for him to do the Olympics again, and he leans to me, says, "Man, I already did it, bro." Like I mean, he didn't say bro, but he's like, "I already did it," because everybody's going duh duh duh, and he's like, "Man, do you know that 4 years a lot can change? It's hard, So again, it was just to kind of see so to stay on point. I met this older gentleman, Bill Wicks, William Wicks, Big Pop. I didn't even know who he was, bro. I know that there's guys that have like Johnny Bucks, has trained is 100% Bill Wicks lineage. But I was fortunate enough to meet him, where I don't know what it was, but however I was wrestling, the guy just kind of pulled me aside, and what he was showing me at the time, I just perceived it to be like, dirty wrestling, shin rides, crossface, rhomboid, ball and chain, all, really tough rides, an illegal figure 4, like calf slice, without locking the feet to stay within the rule set of folk style wrestling. Man, I would get kids to scream, but back then, it was, you wrestled, you went to college, you did nationals, and then you tried for Olympics. That was the routine. There was no UFC, other opportunities like that. So at the time, I thought it was just like rough, dirty wrestling. But it was my introduction to catch. So I took a lot of those techniques from him, and used them in a folk style setting, but just enough to keep it within the rule set. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I was just a kid from New Smyrna, and I had this guy's like, we're like, hey, where'd you wrestle in college? And he's like, man, I wrestled in the carnival, and I'm like, in the fair, like what? It was, and I was like, really? I didn't understand, at the time. And, but then, as he explained things, it was it really resonated with me. It stuck. And I utilize, I still use those systems today, man. It had a big effect on my grappling. But then it also, kind of blended in with what other, knowledge that I was retaining. I would take bits and pieces from different guys. The way that Gene runs a half Nelson is different than the way Wade Chalice runs a half Nelson. As well, that was, I bring up Wade's name because of, again, I had the opportunity to spend time with Wade at the while he was up at the camps. I spent a few summers with him, which was huge.